Hello, hi, namaste. This is Pradyum Verma, TSC Lead 2021, and today we are going to have a workshop on getting started with Unity and AR. So, the thing is, what what is this stuff? Why we are doing this and all. And currently, this is the seventh session in a series of sessions, and maybe you guys be thinking like why it is important कि यार यूनिटी वाले सॉरी टीएससी वाले एक हफ्ते में लगातार सेशन करवा रहे हैं because we want you guys to understand some of this stuff which is going on all around the world. These are the opportunities which we say, and I guess you should know something about it. So this will be our agenda for today. That is, we will be talking about solution challenge. If you guys don't know, it's about to happen, and it's like announcement are already done. So yeah. Next is the scope of AR, then comes the Unity, then we will create a small plot, and by that we will learn the interface of Unity. Okay, isn't it interesting? We are not going to do any theory part, okay? We are going to do hands-on stuffs. Then comes everything AR, then AR foundation and resources. Okay, I'll share the best resources which are available online, which will help you to just endeavor in this field. Okay, and let me tell you what you guys can expect from this event is that it will be less in depth because it is completely impossible for anyone to complete the whole technology in a single video. Okay, it will be informative, it will be beginner friendly, I must say, and like in Unity only it will take like 30 to 60 hours of video content to cover like half of the Unity part. Okay, so yeah, this is the part. So let's get started. First of all, think what is a solution challenge. Solution challenge hai kya? Why we have added that slide in the starting. This is the thing why we are doing this stuff. Okay, this is the only reason we are doing all this stuff. So let's learn about solution challenge. So the solution challenge, that is 2021 mission, is to solve for one or more of the United Nations 17 sustainable development goals with Google technologies. Okay, so in simple words, it's a competition, it's worldwide. You just have to find solution to 17, one of the 17 or two of the 17 sustainable development goals. That is what we call SDGs. So this slide will be available to you guys. I'll add the link of this slide in the description. No problems. Okay, you guys can visit this thing. This is their websites. Okay, and yeah, this is the website. The 2021 Solution Challenge mission is to solve for one or more the global United Nations problem. What it's gonna do? The top 50 teams. First of all, like on a global scale, they will pick up top 50 teams. Then they will like mentorship from Googlers, directly from Googlers about your projects. Then out of that, top 10 finalists will get 1 year of subscription for Pluralsight. Means the perks is on the go. Okay, since it is a Google event, the perks are on the go. Then these are the 17 sustainable development goals. Okay, so if your app can help to reduce the poverty. Okay, let's say there is an app, and what you guys can do is you make a food management app that like your locality have a surplus of food, so they waste it. Okay, they give it to some stray animals or something. Let's say you create an app on which they can tap and they can add up the feature like we have this much of surplus food. If someone wants, they can get it. Just think of the rickshawalas, the normal people who are moving here and there for food, who die because of the scarcity of this food. How helpful this could be. Similarly, there are 17 problems which you can give a solution to, and if they like it, you will get. This is Google. So if you somehow like jump into top 3 winners, then that could be the most awesome part of your 2021. So yeah, Then comes the evaluation criteria. Then your application, it could be web app, it could be mobile application or something else. Okay, it should be technical and it will be judged like this. Its impact contains 60% points and its technology contains 40% points. That is, whatever technology you use, that will be evaluated out of 40. And the most important thing, that is impact that your app is creating. So one pro tip I would like to give it, don't do it like one day before you made an app and directly presented it or submitted it to them. Do a case study, write down everything what you have found out, make an application, test it out, take the feedback. These things will increase your points, okay, and your chances to win those top three. Now the thing is, yeah, so the application is already going on. This is their timeline, and you can fill the form and submit the proposal by 31st of March. So keep the date. All the links are provided on this website, and the link of this website is present on that thing, okay, on my slide. So getting back to our slide. So this was solution challenge. Cool. Now here comes why we are doing AR. Okay, like previously we have sessions on how to deploy your ML model, how to work with Firebase, where Abhishek has told you guys how easy it is, how important it is to use Firebase. One of the important thing is, on your solution there should be at least one Google technologies to be used. Okay, that is why we have today's session, the AR core session and all. Okay, so let's start with scope of AR. Scope of AR, like you guys must be knowing about Industry 3.4. Okay, in Industry 4.0 there are various technologies, and one of those technologies is augmented reality and virtual reality. You guys must have seen Iron Man movies. He uses all that good stuff. Okay, so in those stuff, like they made an artificial intelligence and all. So those kind of stuff is futuristic but possible. With this emerging technology, these are things are possible. You must have played Pokemon Go. Like no one is there who didn't play Pokemon Go or at least heard about it. Say it because of its interactivity, or say it because it poses so much danger on the people who are playing that. Like they're moving, seeing it on the phone and they fall and all. Okay. So here is a story of a developer student club in Ghana. What they did, they thought of like use case of AR. So the first use case they thought of, let's make a navigation app for the university for the people of first years. Like you guys, when you like, man, can you tell me in which year you are? And we have one more. Okay. We have Sujay Shankar, yeah, Mayank and Sujay Shankar, in which, okay, nice, Mayank is in third year, so he must be doing everything. Okay, cool, both of you guys are third year, that's really nice. So think about your first year. Okay, when you guys were in first year, how many times you guys were lost in KP7? Just tell me. Like it was a complete maze, at least for KP7A and KP7B. So think of you, like, yeah, we forgot our rooms many times. Like I myself forgot 4 to 5 times. Okay, so these are the things. So what these people like Student Developer Club of Ghana did is they made an indoor navigation app for first years. Okay, and they on a large scale used AR, that is AR technology, using AR Core SDKs. Okay, SDKs for software development kit. So let me know if you guys can hear them. Can you like do you guys hear any sound? Okay. So let me tell you what the guys are saying. Like it is a like community we have in our kit. The same kind of communities in Ghana, and they thought of like how could we solve this types of problem. So they take this Jubilee Mall as a use case, and they thought of like first implement for this and then we will solve it. Okay, they come, they collaborate, they thought of different stuff that they can do, and they start making teams. Okay, so yeah, and the one of the most important part of them is like AI is not an independent thing. Okay, if you guys view this video, watch this video, then you will understand that AI isn't cannot exist individually. Okay, it requires 3D model. First of the most important thing, the main interactivity is done with the 3D model. Second is how to show that 3D model, that is AR technology, and the third thing is your UI and the backend stuff, because without UI your app is of no use. Okay, and the one of the most important thing, that is documentation. Okay, let me show you the working of that. Okay, yeah, so they created, yeah, as you can see, so a 3D model is being augmented. When they scan the ground, a 3D model will be augmented there, and they can move in that 3D model with the use of these Android logos. So that they have to just search, let's say I want to visit place A, and you write place A, and on the front of the mall you open the app and the Android emojis will be placed according to that. Okay, so this way they are doing it like solving a real life problem. You don't have to build that big maps which are way more confusing than solving our problems, and these things helps us to do. Okay, so that is the power of AR. Just an example. You can find out many more examples which you can just implement. Okay, so you guys must be excited. That's why you have joined. You want to learn about these things. Okay, and cool. So let's start with that. But the thing is, from where we will start. Let's say you want to develop a web app. Okay, web application you want to develop. So there are various options. Let's say you can do with Flutter, you can do with barebone HTML, CSS, you can do with React and all. Okay, so there are many options. Similarly, for AR stuff, you have many options. Nowadays, you can do the integration of AR core with Android. Sorry, Android, Android IDE that we use. Then at the same time, there is an AR Core SDK for Unity. There is a AR SDK for Unreal. Too many options. Okay, so from where you want to start depends upon your current status. If you know the Android, like Android Studio, if you know, you can directly jump onto AR Core with Android Studio. But if you don't know about Android, don't learn it. Okay, if you learn it, that is your like good thing. But I say, like, if you just want to utilize the functionality of AR, the same can be done with a Unity. Unity also gives you a final output as an APK, and the same things can be done. Just like Android Studio is a bit more flexible, Unity game engine on a bigger level becomes a bit constrained. Okay, cool. So let's dive into this. Okay, cool. So let's get familiar with Unity, because first of all we have to understand Unity, then only we can jump into AR. Okay, that is the thing. So let me open the screen for you guys. Okay, I guess I have to share both the screens now. Stop sharing and let me share it again. I want to share the entire screen. Allow. Okay, cool. Hope you guys can see my screen. If I enable my second desktop, it becomes so small for you guys, so I won't be doing that thing. So currently I'm using my favorite Ubuntu with a skin of this Apple. So yeah. Okay, let me open the Unity. I have it in the downloads. So currently Unity is launched first with Unity Hub. Okay, so it's really easy to download the Unity. Unity, if you go, if you type Unity downloads, okay, okay, by mistake I typed, okay, too fast. It must happen sometimes with you guys too. Okay, so you just have to visit download Unity, and from there you download Unity Hub. Download Unity Hub, you can think of it as like app, like Android Play Store only for Unity, where you can download various Unity packages and the distribution. So you just have to visit the installs and add the new install and something. Okay, so currently I'm using the LTS version. LTS stands for long term support. It gives whenever, like, it was made in 2019, so from 2019 the next 5 year it will not crash. Okay, so this is, or they will not make changes so that this version will crash with other future versions. Okay, so always try to install LTS whatever it is. Okay, on the, if you want to install Ubuntu also, go for LTS, don't go for anything else. Okay, okay, I've opened a project. So yeah, it takes somewhat time. Cool. Let me create a new project that will be better for you guys. Okay, so let's close this one and create a project for DSC session. And don't worry guys, don't get overwhelmed. We'll be completing, like, we will be touching the top level stuff and understanding the whole thing, and I will also provide resources. Like, after this thing you can directly continue on them. Okay, and the first time you start a new project, it takes time to load and all stuff. So by that time I just want to show you some documentation stuff. So I always prefer, or I will suggest you guys to always document whatever you learn. Okay, whatsoever you learn. Okay, just let me complete this thing. So visit GitHub. Okay, if you don't know GitHub, in case you don't know GitHub, always visit YouTube, search for DSC Kit GitHub. Okay, and DSC Kit GitHub, and here you will find Shashwata explaining the most important things about GitHub to you guys. Okay, in under 30 minutes. Okay, so I recommend you guys to watch this video. In GitHub I have a Unity getting started thing, so I always document the stuff, learn about it. It's really useful. Okay, and I'll be using some of the tidbits from here also in today's session. So let's get back to Unity. Too many options, and which one to choose we even don't know. Cool. Okay, let me just come over here and let me do double sharing off and share my Unity screen also. Okay, Unity screen only. Cool. I guess now you guys can see only the Unity screen. Okay, so do you guys think it's bit small? All the stuffs are bit small. Don't worry about these things that are only for me. Just let me know if you guys can see this thing or not. Cool. अमन is there also, right? चलिए फिर शुरू करते हैं. So I'm not going to tell you the names of these panels. Okay, that is the most boring stuff, and that's why Unity has made it very clear. They named all the panel on the top. Like, this is a hierarchy panel, this is a project panel, this is a console panel, inspector, projects, and all. Okay, so yeah, Simple. Whenever in instruction it's written, I have developed some 2D games on Unity. That's really cool, Mank. So you must be knowing the tidbits of Unity. That's great. So, okay. Like one of our audience wants us to start from very scratch, so that is why I'm covering the basics and all. Cool. So yeah. Then comes this thing. Okay, these are called the game objects. An object inside a game is called a game object. There is a camera. What camera captures is what user sees. Okay, so game object is main camera and directional light. Cool, simple, done. So these are two game objects. Done. This is a place where we add all our assets. Let's say we want to make a super cool game, okay, and it contains a character, a 3D model of, let's say, Iron Man. So where we drop it first, we drop it here. Okay, we create a folder. Let's say we write the folder name of what to write. Let's say we write it models. Okay, so that we understand what this thing is. Okay, cool, models. And whenever you tap on any of the game object, okay, an inspector window is open. Okay, and what does this inspector window tell us is that what are the properties which you can see and tweaks which you can perform on that game object. Starting from top, just some examples. Starting from like top, these are the transforms. That is the position. Okay, if we go to scene view, you can see these are the position. This is the position of the camera. Just double click on the camera and you can see. And I guess like if you know 3D, like if you know Blender, how to use Blender, you will find this thing very interesting. Okay, you can move in and out like a simple. The more you know how to navigate the stuff, the less frustrated you will be. Okay, because Unity is very much like, you can say, Badnaam kind of stuff for their UI. So the more you know it, the better you can develop. Okay, so yeah, these are the transform. That is the position X, Y, and Z. Then the rotation of it, and then the scale of it, and similarly many more stuff. The game panel is what is your target screen. Okay, so with this we are somewhat starting with the stuff. Okay, we are started building the stuff. Okay, so our main thing is we will make a clock, and with that clock we will learn some basic concepts of Unity. Okay, so what I did here is I have added my device, that is Nokia 6.1 Plus. Okay, I guess you guys cannot see this window. I don't know why. Okay. Let me share it again, or it will create problem. I will share the entire screen. Let's allow this stuff. Hope you guys can see it now. So this is what we call the panel. And what we do, first of all, whenever we create a game, we have to first think of our like target device. Okay, so what we do first, we are creating it for our this Android device. So first we shift all the settings for Android. Okay, so we switch the platform, and it takes time. As obvious, it's changing all the settings for you, so it will take time. Compiling the scripts and all. Cool. Okay, nice. So as you guys can see here, it is written Android. Okay, so we know it's already changed. Okay, So first of all, we have to select our device. As you can see, there are lot and lot number of devices, landscape, portrait, and all. So what I did, I added a device, that is what I am using, Nokia 6.1 Plus. I named it here, and aspect ratio and fixed resolution, you can find it online. So my device is 9:19 ratio, and I did okay. Okay, something weird happened. It took it. Okay. Here is my device. So I am done with my device aspect ratio. I will tell you in future what this thing will affect. Okay, because the next part will be bit tedious and people mostly like have to fight with that stuff. Okay, so we are done with our device. Now what I want to create the UI of this thing. So I will also tell you like whatever resources I use. Okay, I use Figma for this thing. Figma, it's really easy to learn. You just have to drag and drop the stuff and you can directly download the PNG stuff. Okay, in Unity UI works like this only, and it also has a prototype thing. Like this is the latest project that we were doing. Okay, so yeah, you can always like, yeah, this is the latest project. You can just make a prototype of it and then add all the immersive stuffs into that so that the things can move along. Okay, okay, this is what is that, and let's come on to the project. Okay, so these are the things. You just have to define the frame, then you have to add the elements, and then just simply download that stuff. Okay, now coming on to this thing, we really want to make a very simple stuff. Okay, so what I will do, I will add the UI thing. Okay, UI tells user interface, and I'll add the canvas. So if we see the canvas here, let's go to 2D mode. Yeah, this is the canvas. Okay, this is what your screen is. Okay, so whatever you push on this screen or whatever you add on this screen will be seen by the user. Okay, now let's get back to game object for now. So it's always recommend, like what I do is I go to main camera and I change the skybox to solid color first, because that skybox is a bit annoying for, like, I don't like it. And let's make it something like this. Okay, cool. Now what I will do, whatsoever UI element I have to add, I will add it under canvas. Okay, whatsoever UI element I have to add, I will add it under canvas. So I will right click on the canvas and go to UI, and this time I want to put an image. Okay, what this image is? Okay, simple image. Now the thing is, it's been recommended by me. Like people after learning all the Unity stuff, they become very much like they face problems with the UI related stuff, because not each screen is of same aspect ratio. Like nowadays there are various notches are going on, like notch design on the devices. So people like they struggle with this thing. So I'll try to streamline this thing in steps. First we thought of our target, then we find its resolution, we added the device here, then we have added this image and we will use it as background. Okay, so as you can see, this thing is white, so first of all I'll make the base background white. But for that, if I just stretch this thing, okay, like if we go here and we stretch this thing, that will create problem with different devices. Okay, for example, let me switch to other devices. You can see the whole stuff is just like haphazard. Okay, it becomes so small on this device, it becomes this on this device, on my Nokia 6.1, let's say I've created a game with a solid UI. I tested it on my phone and opened it on like Play Store, and now when people download it, it's just devastated. Their images, like their scenes, are not being rendered properly. So what to do for that? First of all, for UI, we have to understand the concept of images. So concept of this anchors. Okay. So I'll click on this image. I'll click on this thing that is the anchor presets. Okay. So what does anchor defines is whatever be the device. Okay. Whatever be the device, if I click on this thing, then it will always remain in the center. As you guys can see, when I change the device, different device screens, it's always remaining in the center. Okay. Now, at the same thing, what I do, I will say, please stretch it whatever be the device. Okay. Please stretch the screen of this black. So what I do, I make it 0, 0, 0. That is, from the boundaries, there should be 0 difference between my base. Okay, let me call it base. I clicked on that, then F2 and make it base background. Okay, and I asked it to please stretch it, and then the second thing what I asked is to keep this thing 0, 0, 0 distance from the boundary. Okay, so you can always like do the stuff with it. Okay, always play with these things so that you guys can understand it more properly. So now if I change this thing, it will always stretch according to the screen size. Simple. Now I prefer black for the background. Okay, now what I want, let's create a horizontal kind of the landscape kind of screen. Okay, so let's say this one. Cool. Yeah, this one. Cool. So this is the landscape screen. Now what I want to add a text into this. How to do this? Again, we will go to canvas since it is a UI element text. So I'll go to canvas, I'll go to UI, and I will add text mesh pro, because in larger size it won't like on the corner it won't erode or something like that. Okay, so I'll go for text mesh pro, import. In older versions of Unity you have to add this package, but since it is so much useful, Unity natively now provide this thing inside our stuff. Okay, inside their UI part. Cool. Let's give it some size. Let's say 100. Yeah. Now again comes the concept of this thing. Okay, this anchor thing what I was talking about. Let's say this is our canvas, and let me move this thing here. Okay, I move this thing in here without any anchor or something. Cool. And in game it sees like this. Let me change the aspect ratio. it's invisible now. Okay, it's invisible now. Let me again, like landscape it was, so now it's here. See the difference. Okay, see the difference. Another landscape, see the difference. Another landscape, see the it's like vanished from there. So what we have to do is we have to always determine the okay, let me get back to my original scene. It was this. Yeah, so whenever you do this, give it an anchor. Anchor is like the ships, they have anchor. From that point they will move somewhere. Okay, they are always they will stay there. That is the work of an anchor. So what I will do, I will make it the anchor at top. Okay, and from top I'll ask them, let me come here, and I will ask them here. Okay, like from the top left corner, what you guys do, usko itna push karo, usko itna push karo. Now if I change the screen, see, it remains there. Okay, that is why I said कि ये concept बहुत important. People used to miss it because they get busy in making games and all, so that they overlook this UI stuff. Okay, if you don't understand, try to watch. I will post this video, like it will be on social, like YouTube and all, so just watch it more number of time. If you don't understand from my words, try to search for other videos. Like I want to understand, like search for anchor points in Unity. What is the concept of anchor points in Unity? Okay, cool. So I don't want it into at the like corner, I want it in the center. And let me drag it in the center. Cool. And let me give it a width. Okay, what this width is? Width is for this box. You guys can see the box 500. I give it a width. I give it a height of, let's say, 300. Okay. Now let me tell you the concept of this box. Now if we come here, okay, it become auto size, as you guys can see. Okay, so if its size goes out of the box, it will move downwards. That is what we call the width. So let me increase it to 700. We can go for 1000 also, there's no problem as of now, according to the usage. Now getting back to game, what I want it into the center of the box. Actually this perspective will be best to make you understand. I want it in the center, in like horizontal way, and in the vertical way also. I want it in the center. Okay, now I want it to be somewhat neon color. Black with neon is a new trend, don't know, but I like it. Okay, let me add the outliner also. Okay, outliner, we have to enable that stuff, and I'll make it this only, and let's increase the size. I guess this much is okay. We can increase this thing also. 150. How is 150? Don't go on my this UI skills. They are very poor, but still I'm trying to make you understand. Concepts are very important. Okay. Cool. So we are done with our new text into this, but there is a problem. Now again, when you change the screen, the size of this thing is changing. Why? It should not happen like this. Okay. It is because our canvas is set to constant pixel size. That is, whatever be the pixel we are defining, take that pixel and put that pixel on each and every screen. But we don't want it. We want it to scale with screen size. Okay. So as you can see, it's just bigger now. Now our target is 2160 cross 1080. So I'll put this 2160 cross 1080. Okay. Now if I go for any other thing, as you can see now the changes are bit like they are not that much. Okay, cool. So this is the basic how you add the UI and all. Okay, these were 2D. You can go for 3D objects also, but I won't be covering that stuff, or you guys will be like छोड़ो इसको and बहुत लंबा है. Okay, तो बेसिक पार्ट हो गया. बट अपने को क्लॉक बनानी है तो क्या व्हाट वी हैव टू डू, लाइक क्या हम लोग इसमें बार बार 1948 लिखे, फिर 1 मिनट बाद आकर के इसको 49 करें, फिर 50 करें, फिर 51? ना. फॉर दैट थिंग कम्स द स्क्रिप्टिंग पार्ट. सो scripting in Unity is done using C#. Okay, C# is used to do the scripting. Don't worry if you don't know the C# stuff. If you know C++, oops concept, if you know C also, then also it could be done. Just add a bit more of C++ ka oops concept, that is the classes and all that stuff, and it will be done. Okay. So how to do that? There is a thing called scripting. So scripting के लिए we have to make a unit scripting the script that is written in C sharp. But what it will do? Okay, it is nothing like a sci-fi stuff. Let me make you understand. This is a game object. Okay, let me rename it to let's say my script. Cool, done. My script. Not my script. It should be timer text. Always name them so that you can understand what that thing is. Okay. So each and every game object consists of the components. Okay, this is a one component which I am just opening and closing. Okay, this is one component. This is another component. This is another component. So what we will do using scripting is we will try to access this component and change this attribute of that component. Somewhat कुछ समझ में थोड़ा थोड़ा आ रहा होगा. Script के through we will access this component and we will change the attribute. Okay, अगर हम लोग access कर लिए तो attribute तो change हो ही जाएगा. Okay, so let's start with the stuff. Always create a folder first and name it scripts, because these practices will help you as well as your teammate, because there is a feature of collab. You just have to start the collab. You have to add your friend and he can directly work on this project. Okay, so here is the scripts folder. I go inside that. I'll create a C# script and name it because it is a timer script, I will name it timer. Okay, cool. So this is a timer script. What I will do, I'll open it, not the containing folder but the script. Let me open the script. I've configured it in some way so that it opens in Visual Studio Code, but Unity recommends using Visual Studio, that is the original Visual Studio. So if you guys are on Windows, I recommend using Visual Studio because it gives you snippets so that you can understand what those functions are. Oh, Visual Studios. There is a difference, slight difference between Visual Studio IDE and Visual Studio Code. So yeah, just let me quickly take the feedback from you guys. How do you think? Like, how's the event going? Just like quick feedback. Am I boring? Cool, nice. So let's begin the stuff with the scripting, because this is what people fear the most. Okay, so yeah, this is the scripting part. It contains like simple like in C++, if you guys know, you are in third year, so, or whatever you guys in here. So C++, you do hash include some library. The same thing is here, using the library which is written here. Okay, simple stuff, no problem. Then we come into a class. Like at this point of time, if you know Java, you have no problems. If you don't know Java, just think about this is a class which inherits its properties from a monobehavior class. Monobehavior class is made by Unity. It consists all the keywords and all the stuff which Unity understand or implements. Simple, nothing else. Void start. Void start is what the thing will be used when the game is started. When the game is started, these are the things which will be executed. Whatever we inside this this what we call body of this function, it is a function start with a return type of void, and whatever we inside this body will be executed once when game starts. Okay, currently we are saying it game. Okay, Then coming to update is what, which is run every refresh frame. ठीक है, you guys must have like, you guys hear about my phone is like 60 frame per second, or the video is 60 frames per second. What does that mean? That your screen is refreshed 50, if it's 50 fps, or 60, if 60 fps, then 60 times it's refreshed in a second. Just think about it, how crazy it is. I'm refreshing it 60 times. And if you guys learn about computer graphics, you will get to know raster scans and all the core concept about it, and you guys will be thinking, यार ये टीवी मुझसे ज्यादा काम करता है, या फिर ये सीआरटी मुझसे ज्यादा काम करता है दिन भर में. Okay, so yeah, just a bit of ideas and all. So let's learn about using this thing. Okay, so सबसे पहला, like, it is a rule of what I should say, it's a rule of every coding stuff. We should do the hello world stuff. Okay, so let's do it. So I will do and if you are a Python coder, just don't forget to add the semicolon, because I do it many times. Now when we come here, we will see that there is a problem. Debug does not contain a definition for log. Okay, so it tells you that there is a script on error 1014. This is like I have done it literally, because I want to show you how to debug your code. Don't directly go and ask anyone, okay, I'm getting this error, I don't know how to solve it. Okay, या फिर most of the people do it like, मेरी script run नहीं कर रही है. Just read out the error part and you will understand what is actually happening. Okay, debug does not contain a definition for log. What you have to do, just go on the internet. I will tell you how big community of Unity is by showing you this stuff. Okay, so the same code, debug does not have, let me read it again, does not contain definition of log, and just add Unity. Okay, boom, like literally I found there is none of these errors which cannot be solved, like you cannot get the answers. Okay, if you cannot get the answer, I will tell you the solution for that also, but currently अगर तुम start कर रहे हो, तुम्हारे जितने भी error होंगे, you will get the stuff here. So it is not debug.small log, it is debug.capital log. So let's do it, debug.capital log, and we save it. Now after compiling the stuff, it will say the error is gone. Yeah, it's gone. Now when you want to test your project, what you do, you go and play this button, but you will find nothing. Okay, debug.log comes here, but you will find nothing. And why it is happening? Because when you play this thing, all these stuffs are being used. Okay, so unless you add your script to this hierarchy, it won't get executed. So what I will do, let me create an empty game object. This is what I do. Okay, whenever I want to associate a script to a scene, this is the sample scene and I want to add the script to it. So what I do, I'll create a game object and I name it whatever that script is doing, timer script. Okay, cool, nice. And then I will add component and search for the script name, timer. Nice. Now again I'll play it. Hello world. Nice. Like this is a kind of custom we do for with each of these stuff to inaugurate that, like in every programming language we do the hello world. Now it's just not about how to print it, but to understand the concept of start and update. Like you can see it's showing it only one time. Now if instead of adding it into the start, what I do, I add it into updates. Cool. And what I do, okay, and what I do, I'll play it again. Now you can see it's been debugged like in second 300, 400, 500, something like that. Okay, so you guys must have understood what is this void update and void start. Okay, now the next thing is how to access this thing, that is the timer.txt component. We want to access this text input area. Okay, I want to access this. So what I will do, first of all, I have to use a library using, instead of writing it, like let's increase the speed of this thing because it's almost 1 hour now. So I visit my GitHub repo, which I've like displayed it in the starting, Unity getting started, and there is a C# script. Okay, okay, not here, in readme timer cs I have written it. So what I will do, just start it very small. I want, see this TMP Pro, what does it states? Text Mesh Pro. The same thing you can find it, how to access Text Mesh Pro using scripts. See, first one, because Unity is something which is used by many people. TMP Pro. Okay, cool. So yeah, same thing you can find. So yeah, now what I want you guys to understand is, see my script on this game object, okay, time script, and I want to access the components of another game object, that is timer text. So first of all, what I will do, what I will do, I will make a public kind of text mesh pro UGUITEXT. Let's see what does this line do. Okay, let's wait for it to refresh in the IDE. As you guys can see, since it is public, it's available here. And what we will do, I will drag this game object into this. So you guys can relate this thing now. Okay, this block will make use of that timer text game object. Okay, so timer text game object is now linked to this thing. So we have a reference of that game object in the string with the name of text mesh pro GUI. Let's see we can access it or not. And this is basically the like data type, you can say. This is the data type of timer underscore text. So yeah, text. Now inside this, you consider it as a pointer which is pointing to this timer text. Now that pointer, what should it do? It go to this text field. So we will do .text. Same concept as in oops. किसी की सब प्रॉपर्टी बुलाने के लिए what we do, name of the object dot the property equal to accessed. Let's see we can access it or not. Now let it compile something. Yeah, same Python problem. That's why I sometimes doubt why should I learn more than one language. it becomes confusing sometimes. So let's wait for it to compile. Yeah, it's compiled now, and let's run it. No. Okay, now it's getting ahead. Okay, so we are able to access it, but the thing is now we want it to add the time of the system. Okay, from where we are going to get the time? We are going to get the time from the system stuff. So let me add one more thing, that is system. So this is a library which will help us to add the system stuff. Okay, it will help me to access the system. So what I'll do, one of the most important part of this word start is here. You can initialize the variables. Okay, date time, let's say time t लिख लेते हैं. So this is the data type, this is the variable, and what we will do, date time dot now. मुझे अभी का टाइम चाहिए भाई, और अभी का टाइम should point to this thing, that is time underscore t should point to date time dot now. अभी का क्या टाइम है मुझे वो चाहिए. Okay, so simple. Let's have a look onto this thing. So yeah, date time dot time. So what it did it into a function, but let's see what happens if we do this in this thing. Okay, now as we in the starting when we write it exist, so it was a string. We have written that exist in double quote. So the same kind of variable also we need. So we will do string okay, string. Let's say we are satisfied with hour and minute only, or should we go for second also? That is the simple stuff, no problem. Hour, minute and second. And what we will do hour equal to the tim underscore t is a pointer, उसकी एक प्रॉपर्टी होगी that is hour. ठीक है, dot. अब this thing will return us the stuff in integer. We have to parse it to two strings. Okay, just let me have a look. Yeah, two strings. Yeah. Okay, we have passed means we have converted that integer value to strings kind of value. Then same for minute. Let's do it first so that we can cover some part of here also. That's our main focus. It should be second, and then comes the second, then comes the minute. Cool. And what we will do, we will again do text equal to hour and some kind of like indentation so that it looks good, plus minute plus second. Cool. Let's see we have any errors or something like that. Okay, we have error expected on line 2028. Okay, where is the error now? There should be a plus here first of all thing. Sometimes this gives us the stupid errors because okay, time underscore t does not exist in the current context. We have created a date time. Okay, it's tim not time, my fault. That's why. Now int does not contain a definition for two strings. There's some problem with toString. Let's again look into our thing. It should be string, not strings. So I'm not searching for these things online, or it will be available very simply. I just want to keep this thing short. And now it's clear. Okay, so let's run it. So as expected, since it is in start, it just like took the time, that is 29 and 11 seconds, and just it ran one time and it stopped. So that is the thing. Okay, so what we want, I want it to update each frame. So what I do, I'll add the whole stuff here and save it. Now if we stop it, okay, cool. Okay, so yeah, it took it like every time. What it do, it fetches that datetime.now and point it to like tim.t, and hour, minute and second is extracted from that pointer and it's been displayed on the screen. Now what I did in this thing is that I created another function and called it many times, like every time the screen is updated, I call the same function name. So yeah, same thing but different approach. This thing the same can be done here. Okay, so let me stop this thing. So by this time, yeah, this is done. Now coming on to how to send this to our devices. So we go for build settings. Okay, let me go to build settings first. I'll add the OpenSea. Okay, I'll add the OpenSea. Then I go to player settings. I name it, let's say, timer. Product name is TSC session. Okay, this version is very important because the successive versions you make, the updates you make is being determined with this version, like 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. Okay, here you can do the icons and all stuff. I won't be doing that for this thing. Then moving into this, I don't want it to be multi-renderer threading because nothing is that big in this. I don't want Vulkan APIs, graphical APIs. There is no use of them here. Something happened with the Vulkan. Like sometimes on Ubuntu it gives like vague errors for. Okay, again player. Yeah, think. So minimum level API you have to define here. So let's go with Nougat. This is basically defines on which devices it should run and on which devices it should not. So minimum I have set it to Nougat, and the target API could be highest anything. Okay. Then we go down, and we don't need to do any changes again now in this. Now I just want to I want you to focus on this com.timer.tsc sessions. Okay, so what this thing is, it basically the package name which identifies your APK online like uniquely. Okay, let me go to Play Store and search for an app. Let's say Sanic. Okay, something happening. Apps. I wanted apps. My apps. So recently we have uploaded an app which you guys can also try out. So it's a humble request. Try it out. It's about Indian Army in AR. So yeah. So as you guys can see, com.arhub.scenic. This is why we are here. Okay. So this is the thing which uniquely identifies your package on internet. Okay, so just name it so that so that it defines what you have made. Okay, then we have done everything, and what I'll do, I'll add my device to one more thing. What I want is it should always present everything. Like you must have like use some devices which some apps which open directly in the landscape mode and it never goes to portrait mode. So that thing is defined here, default orientation. So yeah, landscape right I wanted. And what I'll do, I'll just connect my device. Okay, and it's connected. You guys can find various videos on the internet which you can use to do the. Okay, let me refresh the thing. Nokia, yeah, and build and run. Let's name it clock. Save. And checking for compatible Android device like the API we set in the starting. Oh, okay, let's wait for it. Let me try to share my screen on like mobile screen. Can I share it? Yeah, and I hope you guys can see the whole screen currently. Yeah, you guys can see that, so that will be great. By the time it's going into my device, let me see, are there any content is good, thanks. Yeah, this thing is like emerging, and with time it will make things good and better. Building the griddle, it takes some more time. Like you must have watched some memes, building griddle and just leave the stuff, and he comes back after doing all his like food and all. But I don't think so. It will take that much time. It's a very simple project. Cool. It's copying our APK to the device, and let me open this thing also. Okay. See, it itself opened that APK, and you can see it's working perfectly on our device, and it took the time from our device and just displayed it here. Okay, cool. So we had like a very basic interaction with the scripting and all. So let me tell you the best resource to start this stuff. Okay, so that the same thing you can find here also. Like I've made a resources.md, the same repository. So I'll go to documentation of Unity. Okay, people ask me like, Pradyum or anyone, from where we should do it, which course we should start with. Like it's my request, do a course, no problem, start with some course, but after some time leave that course, come up with a project, think of how to do it. If you cannot think, visit this page. Always have a read of this documentation. Like this is the best documentation after Flutter I've seen. Okay, so yeah, so the things are properly being given here. We go to scripting part, and voila, you can see in scripting, start with setting up your script and everything. Scripting concepts also they have covered. So creating your scripts. See, they created this thing, then debug.log, and like from there on we have started the stuff. So always visit this thing. Okay, animation. You want to learn about animations in Unity. You want to learn about XR in Unity. Anything VR in Unity. So you visit this place. Okay, and the second thing is, if you are like a video kind of person who learns from video, so there is a thing called learn.unity.com, and since you guys must be having Unity, our college email ID, so you guys can enroll for Unity Pro for 1 year. Just simply search for it, so you will get it. So these are like free courses. यार इसके नहीं इस्तेमाल करोगे तो फिर क्या इस्तेमाल करोगे? So just visit this thing and start learning the stuff. Okay. Like this is the one of the starting games that people make on Unity. So instead of giving money to any instructor or something, first utilize these things. Okay, cool. So we are done with scripting also. Like in Unity, what I consider the things are like, first blockage is understanding the interface. Second blockage is like understanding the UI part, third is scripting, and then the rest of the others. In this others comes the games that could be 2D, 3D. Then comes the XR part of the Unity and the other stuff. Okay, cool, nice. So let's now move on to AR part. But before that, I'll ask my audience if they have any doubts. So yeah, surely. I'll share everything. No worries. So if you guys have any doubts till now, or we can just proceed to the next. And if you have any some resources, always feel free to contribute in this repo. It will be live, it will be public, always. Unity link. Okay. When you go into this repo now, there is a thing called resources.empty. Click on this. You will find all the resources here. Okay, YouTube and Discord and all everything. I'll make I'll instruct you how to make use of these resources and in which pattern you should use it. Okay. So let's move forward now because it's about 1 hour 20 minutes and okay. Coming on to AR core. The best thing about Google technology is this that there is a thing called Code Labs. Okay. Whatever Google technology you name, you will find something or like a room or something like I saw one Unity logo where it went. Too much technology to learn, and these are the places where you can do the stuff. So, AdMob, Firebase 102, Unity. Let's see if we have anything for AR Core 2. Of course, we have AR Core Augmented Images, AR Core Depth, la 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 la, and any of the just open it. It will tell you how to start the stuff, what things to download for that. Okay, so everything is there. So coming on to the AR Core is basically an SDK which you guys can use for various platforms. Okay, I agree. Let's see what platforms they have. So they have for Android, for iOS, for Unity, AR Core extension for AR Foundation. AR Foundation I will talk about later. AR Core for Unreal. Okay, so you just have to download the SDK, or better you follow these things. Okay, AR Core. So this is just a simple introduction of AR Core. AR Core enable you guys to make the projects. Okay. Today I will be working with a thing called AR Foundation. Okay, AR Core. You guys can follow those code labs. That's the best way to start it. But just to show you what is the possibilities with this AR Core, or what are the possibility with this AR. Just I want to show a small demonstration. Okay, so let's create a new scene. And name it AR face. Cool. So we will double click on it and we will switch to it. See, our hierarchy is like completely flushed off. My phone timer is still going on, so let me close this. Okay. So yeah, this is AR face. So what I will do, first of all, I'll set the stuff first. So I'll go to package manager. So AR Foundation is something which provides a cross-platform AR development. Okay, a cross-platform AR development like Flutter. Previously, AR Core is only for Android and AR Kit is there for Apple iOS. Now AR Foundation is something which you code once and run on both the devices. Cool. So let's move and find for AR Foundation. I'll work with the version which I've been accustomed to for now. So this is the most stable stuff I found. So go for 3.1.3 and I switched it to this thing. Nice. Yeah, it takes time. Depends on internet speed because it's downloading that package. Okay, by the time it's loading, I want to just tell you like I use a very good software. I guess you guys also should use or can use. That is FlameShot. FlameShot allows me to take the screenshots like this, and I can add this kind of stuff in that. I can add the text in that and all. Okay, just like I want you guys to be productive, nothing else. Okay. Then I've added the AR Foundation package. It is 3.1.3 and the same version I have to add the AR Core XR plugin in case I want to use the AR Core features. Okay. So 3.1.3, where it is? Yeah, here it is. So let's install it. Cool. It's downloading. And by the time it does that thing, let me guide you to YouTube. Don't worry, don't get too much like overwhelmed with this stuff, but yeah, just I want to show you some of the stuffs. Cool, we have 1.45k subscribers, so if you like to do our content, just give us a subscribe, like, share. You guys are doing this thing like for a better community, people who can solve technical problems, nothing like Chintu or something. Okay, so visit the playlist. There are various playlists which you can just visit, but I want you guys to focus on this thing, AR/VR Bootcamp. So it contains starting from Unity to the markerless. Okay, as you guys can see, it's like each video is about 1 hour. So just that is why I just don't want to make this thing too long. I have added the same thing here, YouTube DS Ticket. So when you visit this thing, you will get it. Okay. Cool. And our XR plugin is here now. Now what I will do, I will do XR session origin. Cool. I don't want to use the main camera now, and my device should be 6:1, and I don't want it to be like landscape. I want it to be portrait. Cool. So what does this AR session origin contains? It contains my AR camera. So AR camera, why only AR camera, not the previous camera? Because AR camera contains the properties that we are going to use for the AR feature. Simple stuff, nothing fancy, nothing extra. Okay. So let's scale this thing. Then I'll add an XR session. Okay. It will initiate the session origin. Its name tells what it does. Okay. So AR session, we'll be making a face filter for today. So AR face manager, I have added it. So what it asks for? It asks for the camera. So where is our camera? Our camera is here. See, this part is very simple. Okay. It asks for a camera. Whenever there is a face, it asks for a prefab so that it can replace that thing. So prefab is simply like a game object which you can copy it into the asset folder. Okay. And also, if you want in-depth knowledge, just type prefab Unity documentation and you will get to know many stuffs about it. So let's create a folder. We name it model because we are going to import 3D models. Okay, so right click, I want to import a new set, and there is a set of sloth FBX which I found online, that too from AR Foundation. So all credits to these guys. So in the assets package, I guess I found this thing. Uh, I guess in the meshes. Yeah. So yeah, you can find it there. Cool. So we have this thing, but the problem is it doesn't, like from starting only it doesn't have any texture. So what I did, I created the texture. For texture, you guys can use Substance Painter. For making 3D models, you can use Blender. That is what I said now. AR alone cannot exist. It's always dependent on other stuffs. So I'll import the texture also. Simple textures, not a problem. What I will do, I'll create a material. Like what is the concept of material? 3D model itself doesn't have any color. What I will do, I'll take a paint bucket, I'll put the colors and I'll throw that color onto that 3D model. That is what paint bucket is, what material is. So instead of making a new one, I'll extract here only the materials of them. Let's say material. Let's save it. Yeah, material. Let me cut it first and paste it here. Okay, it's not like that. So I sent it to models by mistake. So yeah, materials. Let's delete it. So in material, what I will do, I'll take the albedo map, the color, and I'll put the metallic map here. So just want to make you guys understand. As you guys can see this ball, okay, its metallic thing tells like how much shiny it should be, how it should reflect the stuff, and the normal map. So normal map, what it does, it makes the crevices visible and all, but this material doesn't have any crevices, so no problem. Cool. Now what we will do, we'll apply this, like it contains the material. So what I will do, I'll replace this material with this, and now it look like this. Quick, like quick, it's quick kind of stuff. Let me reduce this further. I don't know. Okay, cool, but still somewhat max. Yeah, this is much better. So what I want, I will push this game object here. Okay. Now maximum face count. What should be the face count? Like you guys must have seen some filters in which if you put two faces, it's do the swapping stuff and it do the mask on both the stuff. So yeah, that could be defined here. The air part, I'm trying to cover the air part so that I don't touch the coding part. Just drag and drop for now. And yeah, and it's pretty much done. Let's go to build settings. Let's delete this part. I don't want it currently. The open scene, I will add it, and let's build and run. Name it AR face and save it. Let's see what happens. Detecting the current SDK, checking for compatible Android devices. Let's see what happens. Sometimes it works, sometimes we have to check the documentation. Simple. Okay, by the time it does that stuff, should I go with no, it's going fast. So the video which I showed you on Desiccate, that YouTube, it's really a great contribution by Team Zorphilic. If you are in Kit, Team Zorphilic is, can we say, like in rap we can say like AR को वो लोग इंडस्ट्री में लाया है, ठीक है, किट के इंडस्ट्री में. तो you guys can contact them also. You guys can contact us also. Like we are the same community, you can say. Okay, building the Gradle project. By the time I just want to like tell you about our Discord community also, the time it moves to that. So this is our Discord community. The same link is in the YouTube, sorry, in the GitHub. When you go to this thing, Discord and the Zorphilic also, both the channels are there. So in this thing, there is a place called Game Dev where we are. I keep on posting the stuff there. So if you guys also find some stuff, like I also post different kind of curriculums about geo glasses which are coming on, the courses on Udemy which are on coupon code. So feel free to join in and get benefited. And if you find anything good, so you guys can also post the same stuff. And the Zorphilic community also there, so you can interact them directly. Let me show you my mobile screen. Yeah, here it is. So when it opens on the device, it asks for the camera permission. So let me allow it. And yeah, this is me. Can you guys see me? So yeah, this is like maybe some lag in there, the streaming and all, but on mobile it's working really smooth. You guys can try it out. All the assets and all are present in this thing only. Yeah. So yeah, the albedo PNG, metallic PNG, and the FPX. So simple. And with this, we are done with the stuffs and all for AR. And let's come to this. Come to like the resources part. So yeah, let's see the resources that I have added. Okay, so Unity getting started, and where it is, the resources. Yeah, here it is. Let me tell you how to make use of this thing. So first of all, read about the Git, like README for this thing. So I have made this thing so that anyone can get started with AR Foundation or all. So yeah, you can make use of it. In C Sharp also, I've added some of the starting points. What is the use of that stuff? What is the use of that stuff? And hello PNG. Accessing the objects, accessing the objects in two method, like from one object, from the same object on which the script is applied, or from the another object, like we have seen in this, like we have attached our timer script on game, like normal empty game object, and then this thing. Okay, and then on the interface, understanding the interface, what these parts do, what are the hotkeys, WER, how to navigate into this thing, what is the importance of collider box, what is the rigid body on and off. As you guys can see, with off it won't fall, it with on it falls, like it adds the physics and all, gravity and all. Okay, and then comes the UI part. In this, I have again made you understand what is the importance of this anchor points and all. Like I've created this, like I want from this to this, I want to create this. Yeah, how to import, what is the concept of sprites and all, how to convert any image to sprite and all. Okay, then C Sharp. I have covered. Okay, then I wanna come start with AR core, but don't know, like when there is like AR foundation, why should we go for AR core if there is a cross platform stuff. Okay, and then comes the resources.md file. So these two links contain the Discord link for DCKit and Zorphilic. Any of the places you just come, ask for your doubts or any suggestions you want, we will be there. Okay, I'm on both. I'm in both the communities, so don't worry about that. Then comes the YouTube channel. Like on this DSCKit, I've added, like this is the best place I find to get started with this stuff. You guys can watch it. It contains step process, like marker based, then marker less, Unity, getting started with Unity. Then there is a thing called Third Aurora. For AR Foundation, this is the best place. This is Matthew Elberg, one of the like one of the top AR person. So yeah, you can visit this thing also. And Matthew Elberg's private YouTube channel. So yeah, personal YouTube channel, not private. So he covers about object detection with Unity and all. Cool. Then Parth Anand, our Indian guy. You can visit him and watch his videos. He made a really cool app that is this Gomoon this thing. So in this you can shoot these balloons actually, and he created the whole stuff. Like he made this private. I don't know why, but don't know. So cool. These are the things. Then Unity documentation and Unity Learn, I've added the links here. You can always visit it. Learn in game development. This is the best place you want to visit. Unity Essential, Julia Programmer. Start what you like. Scripting you like, you start it now. XR development you like, you start it from here. Film animation, everything is being documented properly. Okay. So with this, I guess we are done with this session, and I would like to get some feedback from our audience. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, cool. Let me stop sharing the screen. So guys, how do you feel the event? What stuff do you expect in the next event? You guys can always comment down, or anything if you're watching it later also, you can comment down. We always keep our eye on this videos and comment section. Okay, so feel free to reach out, feel free to give us suggestions, what do you think. And in the last, I just want to say I'm really sorry for you will be hearing lots of background noise, but I cannot help with that. My location is something like that. Okay, so with this sayonara, I guess. Okay, so I hope in case you want to get some mentorship for or want to understand regarding this thing, what I said, solution challenge, what it is, what you want. It is ending on 31st March, so the time is less, but I guess these things will help you. Cool. Nice. Sujay Shankar now has access to talk, so yeah. No problem. So I guess we can end this session. And just one more thing, we have an upcoming session on GSOC on in March, so be prepared for that. GSOC is one of the most one of the best things which happen in a year, and it's the best place for open source contributors where they can directly open source contribution to various projects like Metasploit or all the open source projects. So just stay tuned for that. And we have 2 more sessions left for this solution challenge. One is the AOG session, which is on tomorrow. AOG actions on Google. You should always you can just explore that part also. Hello Google, can you you can also try it. Contact DSC if you ask your Google assistant, surely she will contact DSC for that. Okay, yeah, for sure it will be available on YouTube, but it takes time, around 1 week for us to do the changes. And one this thing, and the next is the session on Flutter. So that is API integrations and all authentication. So that will be taken by Aman. So yeah, awesome events on the way. Just keep connected, be updated on our social media handles. Check out Instagram, YouTube, wherever you go. Just search for DSTicket. We will be there, and yeah, we will be there. So with this note, bye bye, sayonara.